You wake up, put on your Ray-Ban Meta glasses. You're living all in. You realize you need coffee. So you say,
"Hey, Meta, how do I make a latte?"
Brew 2 shots of espresso.
after Meta AI gets you caffeinated, you're ready for some beats.
"Hey, Meta, play hip-hop music."
You head to meet some friends, but can't remember the place.
"Hey, Meta, call Eva."
Ray-Ban Meta glasses, the next generation of AI glasses. Just say, hey, Meta, to harness the power of Meta AI. Shop now at meta.com/smartglasses.
Looking for excitement? Chumba Casino is here. Play anytime, play anywhere. Play on the train, play at the store, play at home, play when you're bored. Play today for your chance to win and get daily bonuses when you log in. So what are you waiting for? Don't delay. Chumba Casino is free to play.
Experience social gameplay like never before. Go to Chumba Casino right now to play hundreds of games, including online slots, bingo, Slingo, and more. Live the Chumba life at ChumbaCasino.com.
VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Take a deep dive into the stories making the news headlines across the world.
The news agents.
We're not just here to tell you what's happening, but why. From me, Emily Maitlis.
And me, John Sopel.
With Global's award-winning podcast, The News Agents, dropping daily, covering everything you need to know about politics and current affairs.
And The News Agents USA.
Listening to The News Agents on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search The News Agents to start listening.
Yes, thank you. 7:03. We are up. We are live. We are local. We're the Power Trip Morning Show, your home of the Minnesota Vikings. The 14-2 Minnesota Vikings. Is somebody cussing over there?
I was just going to say, how foggy is it out there?
It's so foggy out there, and it's so icy in spots. So be careful. I just heard there's an accident on 610 over by Weaver Lake in Maple Grove. Big crash. So y'all, you're not going to expect it. It's just going to happen. You're going to be sideways. So be
icy.
careful. Yeah.
Somebody went through a house in Chaska.
Like drove through a house?
Car, yeah.
Really? That's did they mean to?
I don't.
Okay, good.
I
thought maybe they were just house hunting.
Unless they're Dr. House.
I know this sounds silly, but I do appreciate you guys talking about this openly because I definitely heard you guys talk about how slippery it was.
Oh.
And so I was taking my trash out before I got in the car. And because you guys said that, I definitely started shuffling down my driveway. And had I not thought about that, I easily could have wiped out. Yes.
So what you're saying is, butterfly effect here, what you're saying is we might have saved your life.
You could have saved my life.
You could have slipped, fallen, cracked your head, and maybe died.
Yeah, you might still be laying there right now.
At a minimum, you guys saved a broken wrist or an elbow.
I love it.
You're welcome.
Yeah, no, I think it's great.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
And I had no idea when I drifted through my stop sign this morning that I was saving your life. I feel good now. Thank you.
I'm glad you guys talked about it.
All right, Grimmer, I sent you the movie quote.
Yeah, and say it one more time. It
is
peanut butter patties. Is that what it was?
Yeah, it's what I don't know what. You don't get abs like these by eating peanut butter patties.
Yeah,
I think he's referring to a Reese's cup.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I love those.
Who doesn't?
I used to love them. They don't taste the same anymore.
Why?
I don't know why it is.
I don't know
what
your
they've done.
taste buds, it's a Girl Scout cookie.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds good too.
It's better. Yeah, peanut butter patty. That makes sense. Yeah.
Do you think it's your taste buds? Because taste buds change over the years, or do you think they make them differently?
That could be. Do they?
I'm
not sure. That could be.
Yeah. Don't you think?
I wonder what
they always say you acquire a taste. Is like when I was a kid, I hated blue cheese dressing. Now I eat that on just about everything.
Yeah, there's things I eat now that I didn't eat back in the day.
I wonder what I will eat someday.
Nope.
No.
If you were going to try that, you'd tried it by now. I'm going to change the subject.
This is KFAN News with Chris Hockey.
Hey! Brought to you by Carbonies. I got in here this morning and I could smell the Carbonies in here.
Carbonies special, baby.
That's right. You better believe it. We'll do this real quick because I want to get back to Vikings and I got all kinds of audio that I loaded in the game and stuff like that. But looks like it's going to turn cold out there this week, and it is. Here's Michelle from the Minnesota Weather Service.
Highs in the teens Thursday, highs in the single digits to mid-teens on Friday. So just a slow progression downward with the temperatures, and we will see some lows below zero when we're getting later in the week as well.
Yeah, how low is it going to get, Michelle?
Real low.
Did she just record that on her phone when she woke up?
I think so.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Probably. Yeah. But there you go. It's gonna be freezy out there. So y'all,
man, I can't wait. Is that weird that I hate this weather right now.
Me too.
Yeah, this fog sucks.
This like 40 degrees and rain is just the worst.
How about... Yeah, it was freezing. Was it Saturday that I woke up and the sun was shining? I was like, where is this world at? I can't believe it.
It like changed my whole Saturday because the sun came out. Yeah, would it just start freezing? And for God's sakes, I'm tired of wiping my dog's feet because it's muddy outside.
Yeah. Your friends?
Get over your dog.
Come here, dog.
What up, dog? Yeah, D-A-double-G.
Yep. Planes are falling out of the sky. That's a bad thing.
Yeah, what is happening?
Yeah, 2 crashes in a week.
How about this? A total of 179 people were killed Sunday in a plane crash in South Korea. Currently, the country's worst air disaster in decades. Investigators are working to pinpoint what may have caused the Jeju Air Flight 7C-2216, which is flying from Bangkok. South Korean officials confirmed today that the pilot had reported a bird strike before he made the doomed emergency landing in South Korea. There's so much video of it out there, and that's one of the things that have made these last 2 plane crashes different from almost everyone I've ever seen. The Russian one and this one, or I guess Kyrgyzstan and this one. There's so much video from inside and outside the planes of these crashes. Have you seen this?
I've not seen the inside video.
Man, the inside from the one that the Russians shut down is terrifying. Everybody's got their phones out.
Oh, boy.
And not everybody died. Like, only half the people on the plane, which I shouldn't say like that, but I'll say like this, half the people on the plane survived. So there's a lot of footage of the plane going down. Yeah. Ooh. And this one, the plane landed without any landing gear, belly flopped onto the what do you call it, the runway, and then hit the barrier at their end and exploded.
So they had a bird strike and the landing gear malfunction?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So I thought the original thing was the landing gear was malfunctioning, and then the bird strike happened on the approach.
Maybe that's the case. I don't know. Like I said, they're still investigating, but yeah, as it's written here, experts also told CNN that the plane's undercarriage, specifically the wheels used for takeoff and landing, appeared not to have fully deployed. So there you go. So it looks like it might have been a combination of the two.
Wow.
Jeez Louise.
I don't know. I think it was just doomed.
Yeah.
Because the way I understand it is if they do have a landing gear malfunction, they are told to just pull out of their approach and burn as much fuel as possible.
Makes sense, yeah, right.
And then that way, if they have to belly skid on the runway, it doesn't cause a giant fireball. And it actually gives them on the ground time, because I guess there's like this foam they can spray down that's supposed to help the friction not ignite.
Oh, wow.
And so it sounds like this truly was like, I got to get this thing down on the ground immediately.
Right. Yeah. So maybe the bird's white.
So
right.
Double whammy.
Not a lot adds up here, and it takes, I think they said it takes 2-3 weeks, possibly even more to go. They have the black box to go through all the data. We won't know it's just nothing adds up because it's a 737. The landing gear is like, even there's multiple redundancies. If the hydraulics fail they can actually, just gravity, they can hit a button and the gravity will bring the wheels down. So the fact that somehow failed, also the bird strike angle is like, what is that? And then, as you mentioned, Ben, why do we not know? Why did the pilot land so quickly? Why was he going so fast?
Right.
The flaps weren't down, so there was nothing to slow this thing down. That plane never had a chance to safely land. Hopefully they find out more details, because that was a horrifying video to watch.
It's surreal. Like, you can't believe. Like, I can't believe this happened. Like, this really happened in modern time.
Yeah.
This isn't some sort of AI thing or something from a movie. And
in South Korea, like a very well established. Yeah. It's not like, not to minimize what happened in Russia, but like that's a war zone area almost.
Well, yeah, they said it was anti-aircraft that might have taken it down, right? So yeah,
this is just potentially a failure. Hopefully not. It's, I don't know. I don't like every Twitter pilot that reputable that say they have no idea what the hell's going on here.
Well, don't they say a lot of air disasters are more pilot error?
Correct.
And I'm not talking passenger jets, like anything like Cessna, like single engine aircraft crashes. Mm-hmm. Usually like 90% are pilot error.
Yeah. or pilot
I was trying to decide whether or not to do this story or not because I don't want Corey to get in trouble for saying somebody deserved to die.
Uh-oh. It's a hell of a lead.
Washington state authorities say 2 men who were searching for Sasquatch have been found dead in the forest.
Go on.
The Skamania County Sheriff's Office says 2 men from Portland went out hiking last week in the Pinchot National Forest, obviously named after Bronson Pinchot.
Of course.
To search for the legendary Sasquatch and had planned to return home on Christmas Eve. When they didn't return, a family member reported them missing on Christmas Day. After a 3-day search, including canines and drones, the bodies of the men were found in a heavily wooded area. The Sheriff's Office says they appeared to have died from exposure.
So not blunt force trauma from Squatch's giant fists. So, I mean, because think about that. Even though if you had been bludgeoned to death by Sasquatch's fists.
That's a hell of a thing.
Sure, you're dead.
Yeah.
But you technically died correct.
Yeah, you did it.
I went out there. I know he's out there. I'm going to go find him. And then you find him and he kills you both. And then 3 days later, they find your dead body.
Yeah.
But it's like, this is not,
don't you
this
think,
isn't a bear. This is something else.
Bigfoot. Don't you think it's one of those things where like for instance, I got my sweet Jeep SRT8 outside. I love that car. And if I decided I was going to show off for Abigail and just do donuts in the parking lot of her apartment and then flipped upside down and died, my last thought would be, what a dumb son of a bitch I am.
It's a little bit like Dumb and Dumber, right? When they're both freezing to death.
Yeah, right.
I wonder if these two guys had just been looking at each other with like minutes to live, going, "We probably shouldn't have believed in nonsense."
Don't you think the one guy said to the other? The one guy said to the other, "Meat sauce. This was the dumbest idea we ever had. I can't believe you."
No, hot ass Randy said he's out here.
What do you say at the funeral?
Yeah.
I think it's pretty custom to just do a 21 Squatch salute and just do 21 Squatch calls. Like
We're going to
James
get that many
Bobo
ladies
Fay.
to come to a funeral, though.
Oh, just 21 of those. Oh, man.
The sad thing is, you guys,
there's
in that part of the country, it's pretty common, I think, for people like, I'm going out searching for Bigfoot.
No kidding.
All right, I'll be back by sundown.
That's a common thing in Oregon?
Yeah, Washington and Oregon. Like all of those Bigfoot hunter shows are all in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Well, because that's the best
where all the
place to hide.
sightings are,
Woods. But okay, so let's say
that part of the world.
Let's say these two. I don't know. How old did you say they were? In the 20s or 30s or something?
Yeah, one was almost 60 and one was almost 40.
Oh, okay.
Is that right? Oh, okay.
Well,
So and the family knew that they were headed out to.
Yeah, it's like they announced it. Like, we're going to go squatch hunting.
Okay, so but here,
Do you think
check
that's
this
like
out.
as a euphemism, like we're just going to go camping?
No, apparently not. Well, if the two of them are like, we're going to climb to the top of Mount Rainier, you'd go, geez, you're almost 60 years old.
Yeah.
Well done.
So if the two of them died due to exposure because they tried to hike some unbelievable trail that, had rarely been done, they both died, and you go, man, those two guys, though, they lived their life fearlessly. They went for it. They tried to accomplish the nearly impossible. But how do you tell your friends and family? What happened to Frank? I haven't seen him in a while. He and
his buddy.
He died looking for the Squatch.
He froze to death looking for Bigfoot.
Yeah.
I mean,
poor guys.
I think you just say cancer.
What do you take on a hunt for Bigfoot?
Well,
like, what do you?
There's one tool you need to take.
Uh-oh.
And this is why I don't get why they're searching, because all you need to do is get a helicopter or a drone with a thermal cam.
Sure.
And you can cover hundreds of miles in a night.
Froze to death.
And without freezing to death.
Couldn't you find Bigfoot that way too?
No, I'm talking about finding Bigfoot.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Like,
I thought you meant just find the dead guys. Yeah.
You shouldn't be out hunting like that. Come on, man. Quit searching. We have cameras that from 1,000 feet in the air can detect any sort of body heat. You're going to see the outline of that Sasquatch.
I can see the outline of your Squatch.
Yeah.
Somebody should have let these guys know that.
Sasquatch he's watch predator. He knows how to cover.
He knows better.
He knows how to cover himself in mud and not give off any heat signature.
What if he doesn't give off any
man? Nothing worse than a muddy Squatch. Maybe that's why no one's found him. Is that his body heat is not
Blends
detectable.
And maybe he's a cold-blooded animal.
Yeah, nobody likes a muddy squatch, right?
Nobody likes a muddy squatch.
You know, somebody does.
You know the Chris Rock.
There are those out there who enjoy that.
The Chris Rock joke about keeping your daughter off the pole, right? Like, as long as your daughter doesn't grow up to be a stripper, you've done well. There's got to be a squatch test too, right? Like, what did your son end up doing? Well, he grew up to hunt Bigfoot. How'd that work out for him? Well, him and his buddy over Christmas week died due to exposure. Yeah. Well, then I have failed. Right? Like, I hope if he's almost 60, I hope his 90-year-old parents aren't still alive to know that their son died looking for Bigfoot.
I'll tell you this: you're never going to hear the following sentence. Neil deGrasse Tyson died today.
From what, Chris?
Hunting for Sasquatch with his buddy. That's not going to happen.
And also, be prepared.
Be prepared.
Be prepared. Yeah. But be prepared.
Thanks, Scar.
No, you're right.
Wear enough layers.
Yeah. Wear some clothes.
Yeah, wear some clothes.
Build a fire. Or bring something to start a fire.
Trying to find Sasquatch will not,
and freezing to death.
Yeah.
They had to have been drunk, high.
That's what I'm thinking.
They went out.
And that's why I think it's a euphemism. We're going to hunt Sasquatch. No, I see.
What is this? Snipe hunting? Is that what they called it?
Shrooms legal out there. Let's go.
Sure.
And how far were they away from their vehicle,
their own
where they live?
Yeah.
You know,
40 feet from the house.
You know what, though? They won. Because guess what? Probably those of us in this room are going to die, and the family's going to care. Nobody's going to talk. There is a radio show 1,000 miles away.
A highly popular radio show.
Spent the last 10 minutes on the radio talking about them. That's a legacy that
two things
we can only
not
hope
once
for.
have we mentioned their name.
Correct.
We've called them idiots for 10 straight minutes.
Yes.
I'll take that over obituary.
So you'd rather be dead, a dead nameless idiot, than a well-respected broadcaster in the Twin Cities.
All I want when I die is
to
for
be a
people,
dead nameless idiot.
I want random morning shows across. I want to be in the prep service,
but they're not going to mention your name.
I don't,
and
care.
they're going to say you're a dead idiot.
I don't care. I'm going to be about him. I just want to leave a legacy.
Dead nameless idiots. Title of the podcast.
Yes. I thought it was going to be Muddy Squatch for a while.
That was the front runner.
What did you die doing, though? What were you looking for? Don't tell me you're looking for the edge of the earth.
No, I'm what conspiracy do I care about?
Okay, so like
storms, maybe like storm chasing.
Oh yeah, that's a tornado's gonna.
Yeah.
That's not a conspiracy. That's fine. People do that,
but not when you're like chasing in like a '98 Honda Civic. Yeah, but you would be
with no gear.
How are you going to afford a '98
If you
Honda
died
Civic?
chasing storms, you would be on he would be on a news service probably.
The Titan submersible, right? It's like, all right, do we really need to go see the Titanic? No, but you wanted to, and you had like $1 billion. Go for it, right? If that exact same group had said, we're hunting for mermaids, all of us would have said, you deserve to explode. Get out of there.
Not all of us would have said
yes, they would have been dead, nameless idiots. Some of us said that about these people just going to see the Titanic.
By the way.
And then remember Rosie famously said, why would they want to gaze at a graveyard?
That's
what he said.
That is where that comes from.
I should note the Dead Nameless Idiots are playing a New Year's Eve show.
It's going to be a great show.
Fillmore. Tomorrow night.
Yeah, they're opening for Bird
Very
Strike.
good.
The opposite of
Is Buddy Squatch going to be on there?
Buddy Squatch.
The opposite of a dead nameless idiot. Former President Jimmy Carter died at the age of 100.
Man, 100 years old.
His son said he died Sunday at his home in Plains, Georgia. He was the longest-lived former president in our nation's history. Former peanut farmer and Georgia governor, became the commander-in-chief in 1977, served one term after beating Gerald Ford in the 1976 election.
Gerald Ford.
Yeah, I was married to Rosalind, right? Carter,
Rosalind.
yeah. She died last year at the age of 96, survived by 4 children, several grandchildren. So there you go, 100 years old. And somebody did win that $1 billion lottery.
California.
Yep. Again,
California.
just one again, right? One person again.
We got to get California out of the lottery system.
I know. It's not fair.
They always win.
Although they probably...
Wow, what a finish.
Thank you.
What was that?
That was from the Wolves game list.
Oh.
Sort of like Zach doing high school play-by-play hockey.
I thought it was me for just a second.
I thought it was you, too.
Yeah.
Wow, what a finish.
No, that's not you. That's I don't know his name. And I think he's dead. So, I mean, honestly, mission accomplished.
Yes.
Right?
Good for that guy.
Good for that guy.
Well, they're talking about him on the morning show.
No one will ever talk about that guy again.
If I die,
you have
please,
the weirdest goals.
If I die, please, like the next day, just don't
say your name.
Don't even mention my name.
Just say that one guy.
That one guy.
Yeah, that one guy died.
We won't be able to because we won't even be on the air because you're the only person that does anything around here. So.
He's got, 9 stations going right now?
Yeah, I know. Oh, well.
All right.
Sports.
Hardcore Vikings would come back. They're 14-2, and they're playing Detroit next Sunday night for everything. For the North, for the number 1 seed in the NFC, for home field advantage, for a bye,
North?
for everything. Next Sunday night. We'll talk about that with Ben Leber after this on The Fan.
The Fan. You wake up, put on your Ray-Ban Meta glasses. Classic style, innovative tech. You're living all in. You realize you need coffee. Desperately. So you say,
Hey, Meta, how do I make a latte?
To make a latte, brew 2 shots of espresso.
after Meta AI gets you caffeinated, you start walking to work, and you need a soundtrack.
Hey, Meta, play hip-hop music.
With the built-in camera, you snap a pic of a dope mural on the side of a building that you think is worth sharing.
Hey, Meta, text my last photo to Eva.
Sending message.
After work, you head to meet some friends.
Hey, nice glasses.
Ray-Ban Meta glasses, the next generation of AI glasses. Just say, hey, Meta, to harness the power of Meta AI. Listen to music, make hands-free calls with open-ear audio and built-in microphones, and so much more. All while staying present to the world around you. Shop Ray-Ban Meta glasses at meta.com/smartglasses.
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
You can
Zach.
join me at
What's your
Tom
name?
Reed's. That's me, Zach Halverson.
Oh, hi, Zach Halverson.
It says down here, it says, join the Power Trip, Zach Halverson. That's me.
That's
for a
you.
World Juniors watch party. You can drop into Tom Reed's Hockey City Pub this Saturday at 2:30 to catch the bronze medal game with myself. We'll have free appetizers during the first period, drink specials, and tons of prizes, including tickets for next year's World Juniors and a signed Lou Nanny jersey. Full details at KFAN.com. Just make the keyword calendar.
How long are you going to talk?
That's Zach Halverson.
Fan 5 on the Power Trip, presented by All Around Property Preservation.
Hey, thanks, All Around. The Minnesota Vikings are now 14-2. They won 27-25. They hold on and beat the Green Bay Packers. 14-2 for the Vikings, 9 straight games. A career-high 377 yards for Sam Darnold.
Jesus.
33 of 43, 377, 3 touchdowns. One interception that was not good, but it's hard to nitpick one bad throw.
Yeah, it's a great play.
But everything else he did was so elite. 116.1 passer rating. So it all comes down to next Sunday night because the Lions do play tonight at San Francisco. They're 3.5-point favorites on DraftKings. But next Sunday night, it's for the number 1 seed and the NFC North. On DraftKings already, the Lions are 2.5-point favorites at home against the Vikings. The over-under is 52. Packers, by the way, I mentioned this earlier, 0-5 against the top 3 teams in the NFC. 0-2 against the Vikes, 0-2 against the Lions, and 0-1 against Philly. Was that the South America game?
The Brazil game?
Yeah, that was the Brazil game. So 0-5 against the top 3 teams.
Yeah, man. It's actually kind of hard to believe that we're in this situation. Like we talked about this 3 weeks ago. Like, well, there's an opportunity for us to get the number 1 seed and get the bye week, and we just have to win out. And we just they gotta stay focused on every game, and kind of like PJ Flex says, just win that one season every week. And it's a lot easier said than done. And here we are. I mean, to put ourselves in a position to win the NFC and get a first round bye is 6 days away. It's really, really hard to believe. And I don't care what the spread is. I don't care if the line was Lions by 10. Who gives a rip? Like, we know that we have a great chance to go in there and beat those guys for a lot of reasons. Like, we are a great football team, and their fan base and their radio shows this morning are saying the same thing. They're like, damn, we have to play the Minnesota Vikings, who are so hot right now, maybe the hottest team in the league, and they have to come to our place. Like, they got to be shaking their boots a little bit too, So I think there's respect on both sides.
And how about the Kansas City Chiefs are 15-1. They have everything locked up in the AFC. They have nothing to play for. They are at the Broncos. The Broncos now, because they blew that game against Cincinnati, still have something to play for. Mm-hmm. I don't know how much Kansas City's going to care, right? They might not. I don't know what they're going to
care at all. Which
means if they lose, they're 15-2, and if the Vikings win, a team that was projected to have an over/under of 6.5 wins might finish 15-2 and tied for the best record in the NFL. That's mostly crazy. And I think we asked this last week, and I don't know if anybody confirmed it. But are we now officially the team that has surpassed their over/under total by the most?
Yeah, I think we are already at that point.
Because I thought last week
ever?
Yeah, I thought last week they said like the 99 Rams and the Vikings were 6.5 games over their over/under, which was the most, or tied for the most. So I would assume with yesterday's game, now we have the biggest depth or the biggest gap ever between our preseason projection and our final total. If that doesn't, KOC has locked up Coach of the Year almost no matter what happens on Sunday night. I haven't looked at DraftKings, but my guess is he was the favorite before. I would assume after yesterday it's even more so. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll look it up, but my guess is he's a massive favorite.
Well, I was going to say the other one is obviously the coach that we're playing this weekend, but Dan Quinn is getting a lot of love as well for his job with the rookie quarterback and all that stuff. But go ahead.
It's not even close now. KOC minus 1,000.
Yeah.
That means you have to bet $1,000 to win 100. He's a heavy. Next? Then Dan Campbell at plus 650. So it's over. That's essentially that. With 1 week to go, that means it's a lock. KOC is going to be Coach of the Year.
Yeah. And I think it makes a lot of sense. What he's done to build the team and the culture and what he's done with Sam Darnold. And then on top of that, to be the play caller for this highly explosive offense with a new running back. There's so many boxes that you can look at. You just he checks that one. There's a lot of great coaches out there this year. But I 100% agree that the minus 1,000. Yeah. He is the Coach of the Year. We've been saying it now for weeks and weeks, but we obviously have local bias with wanting for him to win. But when you look at nationally, what he's up against, the way he's turned this team around, so to speak, with a whole bunch of new faces, yeah, for sure, Coach of the Year.
And how about KOC calling passes on that game-sealing drive?
I just didn't want to worry so much about the clock and making Matt use his timeouts. I felt comfortable with Sam in those moments, and I loved how some of those things married up with some other runs we'd either done late in games, throughout the year, or even tonight in the game. So I thought we'd get some edges and get Sam and his athleticism out on the perimeter.
Yeah.
Gutsy, right?
Yeah, I think so. The thing is, with his offense and the high frequency of pass plays and the type of pass plays, and we've seen it time and time again, a lot of these are basically run plays. They're as safe as run plays, whether it's a quick slip screen out to the wide receiver on a quick throw, one of which towards the end almost got tipped right at the line of scrimmage by a defender. But it's those slight margin of errors that can decide games. But that's a pretty safe play. Getting an athletic quarterback out on the edge on a boot play, that's as good as a run, So you're giving yourself two options, one of which you can obviously pass it down the field for just a quick gain, have your guy stay in bounds. That's a great run play. And then your quarterback could actually run the football. So we have lots of options that are just as safe as handing the ball off.
I already know the answer, and you're not supposed to ask questions on radio shows or interviews if you already know the answer, but I know it. But I just wanted to do it to keep the conversation going. About a month or so ago, you said that even if Darnold wins the Super Bowl, it doesn't make sense to bring him back because the whole plan is to save the money. Mm-hmm. JJ's in the wings. You're like, that would actually be a really good way to say, hey, congrats, you're a legend. We'll build you a statue, and I'll see you later. So my guess is what he's doing now doesn't change your opinion in any way.
No. It makes the decision harder because we're seeing it in real time and with your own eyes. And there's, like everything with decisions, you got to take the emotion out of it. But it's hard when there's so much love for what he's doing. But you got to look at, he's going to get somewhere around $120 million for 3 years and probably $100 million guaranteed. You're right back in the same situation that you didn't want to be with Kirk Cousins. So he deserves that sort of contract. I just don't think for the future of this team, you need to lock yourself in and put that much money of your salary cap into one player again. You think about all the things you could do with $100 million for all the other pieces that we could be adding. And you have to think, at least the way I think, yes, he's playing at, maybe an MVP level. It's just that, Josh Allen's having a great year and all this other stuff. I mean, he's playing as good a football as he's ever played in his life. Do you think for the next 3 years he's going to stay at that level? Probably not. I mean, the guy has 2 interceptions the last 7 games. The 1 interception yesterday, as Hawk and I were just talking about, that's a great defensive play. I mean, there are going to be plays where the defenders just make great plays. Do you really think that he's going to be for the next 3 years on this sort of run that he's having right now? There's probably going to be a little bit of a regression. And if that happens, are we as successful? I don't know. But do you have faith that KOC, the eventual coach of the year, can get a guy like JJ McCarthy, who's going to be 22 years old in January, coming up in a couple days, that if we can get him to play at a higher level and get the most out of him as a young emerging star, and then you have $100 million this next year to go sign a lockdown corner, maybe a possible pass rusher from the inside part of our defensive line. You want to add a piece as a running back that, maybe, either draft or otherwise, something offensively, skill position wise. You can add a lot more pieces with just that $100 million that you're going to dedicate towards the quarterback.
Well, that's another point that I think people need to think about is we have very few draft picks next year.
Very few.
So you're going to have to reload with free agency, not with the draft. It's all about
free agency this next offseason. That to me is the game plan that they had already forecasted when they look at a 2-year window when it comes to the draft and what they're going to do free agency wise. They knew that they're going to have marginal draft picks, not a lot of draft picks. You get a first rounder, and that's basically it. And so you got to hit on this one first rounder, and then you have a bunch of money to spend. Spend the money.
According to this, I think this is the most up to date one. We have a first rounder and 2 fifth rounders.
That's right.
And that's it. Yikes!
How much money comes off the books for next? How much cap space will they have?
I think right now we have the 6th most cap space as of right now.
Yeah.
Zach, your hands up.
Where do you stand in the whole tag conversation?
I moved off of. I've moved off of that. Like, I think if they could tag him, which would be around the same $41 million. That's fully guaranteed. Now, that gives us first right of refusal. Yes, and if we get the two first round draft compensations, if you want to use that business lever, I say go ahead and use it. I don't love it. I think that he deserves to be a free agent, like free agent, and not be tagged. But it's certainly a business thing that they could do.
More Vikings news during Vikings news in a second. This is the Power Trip Morning Show on the Fan.
You wake up, put on your Ray-Ban Meta glasses. Classic style, innovative tech. You're living all in. You realize you need coffee, desperately. So you say,
Hey, Meta, how do I make a latte?
To make a latte, brew 2 shots of espresso.
After Meta AI gets you caffeinated, you start walking to work, and you need a soundtrack.
Hey, Meta, play hip-hop music.
With the built-in camera, you snap a pic of a dope mural on the side of a building that you think is worth sharing.
Hey, Meta, text my last photo to Eva.
Sending message.
After work, you head to meet some friends.
Hey, nice glasses.
Ray-Ban Meta glasses, the next generation of AI glasses. Just say, hey, Meta, to harness the power of Meta AI. Listen to music, make hands-free calls with open-ear audio and built-in microphones, and so much more. All while staying present to the world around you. Shop Ray-Ban Meta glasses at meta.com/smartglasses.
Hey, welcome back, Power Trip Morning Show. The Vikes won, but they weren't the only team to win. Here's the final call of your big Wolves win last night.
Left, Sohan fakes the pass, lines up the 3, missed it, rebound loose, Vassell's got it, put back is good, but wave it off. It didn't get off in time. I think this game's over. It's over. And the Wolves are going to escape with their third straight win, 112-110.
After review, the shot is late. The game is over.
Wow, what a finish.
What a finish,
Yeah.
Al Horton. That's
Alan
right.
Horton.
Hey, what the hell happened with the Florida Target Center, by the way?
Don't know. I just got the email that it was an hour delay, something with the court, but
They had to
never followed up.
replace the court, is what it said.
They replaced it?
I swear you, that's what Musk said.
Yeah, they delayed it an hour, but
Would they just have an extra court laying around?
I don't know. Who knows?
It's got to be just like pieces of the court, right? Because they just kind of pop in and out of like these big squares.
The pieces are in place.
Pieces are in place.
I don't know.
I think they just knew it'd be a hellish traffic situation at the end of the Vikings game, so they said we're pushing this
And
back.
by the way, it was.
Oh, it was awful.
Terrible.
Awful,
Yeah,
man.
I'm only half joking about that.
Oh, man, just awful. Sitting in the parking garage, I'm like, this is why I leave every event early. I'll leave my own funeral early. Get me the hell out of here.
Or just late.
I'll be hunting squatch. Nobody will find me.
Muddy squatch at that.
Muddy ones, yeah.
If you're just tuning in, that is not a euphemism. The Wolves won 112-110 over San Antonio. Up next, at OKC, New Year's Eve. That's tomorrow night. OKC has the best record in the West. But the Wolves have won, 3 straight games?
That's right.
And Dante DiVincenzo actually had a monster game finally. 26 points for the old Wolfies off the bench. Wemby had 34.
It's time for Vikings news on the Power Trip, presented by
All right, Benjamin. So the Detroit Lions have Monday Night Football tonight at Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers. The Niners are mathematically out. They have nothing to play for except for pride. I mean, Purdy just is looking to not get hurt because he's going to get paid this summer, right? So don't get hurt. What do you do if you're Dan Campbell tonight when even if they lose, they can put it all on the line next Sunday? They have nothing to play for tonight. Both teams kind of. What do you do if you're Dan Campbell tonight?
Sit them.
Sit almost everybody?
I would.
Really?
He won't, though, right?
He won't. And that's
He says he won't.
He's been very clear he won't.
But you would.
I would.
What now?
Clear. No. This is what the 49ers are going to take tonight.
Do you think he'll have a number in mind where he says, like, if we get up X amount of points, that's when I pull starters then? If he is going to go with the I'm starting everybody tactic?
I think he'll speak out of both sides of his mouth. I think he'll send a message, just like you do in preseason, like, get yourself ready to play, right? This is what we are. We're football players. You get paid to play. And then I think regardless of what happens, I bet you the starters play the first half and then they pull them. But I would sit them from the get-go. I mean, these guys don't need to prove that they're mentally tough enough to go out there and play a game. Like, look at the big picture, Dan. Like, if you want to increase your competitive advantage, not only just playing at home for everything on Sunday night, get your guys. I mean, of any team out there that needs to get their team healthy, or at least wants to make sure that their starters, especially offensively, don't get hurt, you sit these guys. You don't give them an opportunity to take extra hits and extra snaps and possibly get injured. Like, take these next 6 days to rest your players physically and mentally, and then you demand their very, very best on Sunday night.
Zach, your hands up.
This is what he said. This is, quote, I'll make this easy for everybody. That way all the critics can jump out and start attacking, but that way you don't have to debate them anymore. We're bringing everything we got to this game, and we are playing. I don't care what it looks like and where it's at or who it's against or who's that. We're going to go out and play and win this game out on the West Coast. So there you go.
That just said they were going to try hard. That didn't say he was going to play Jared Goff.
We're bringing everything we got to this game.
Yeah.
He's bringing him.
He's bringing him.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that he's there. We got all the weapons. We may not fire any bullets.
There was a press conference in response to a question about...
I think he just means that he's bringing all the Gatorade buckets, the helmets, the hand warmers, anything they need. They'll have everything.
Probably their radio crew.
I doubt it.
I mean, if there is, there's got to be, Corey, you probably could find it. There's got to be some sort of an analytical thing that could back it up. But, you know, he has kind of lived and died by being risky, but being calculated risky with all of his fourth downs, with the way he approaches the game. And he always is backs like that. Yeah, if they've got a fraction of a percentage more chance to do X, Y, and Z, he's going to do that, right? Well, there's got to be an analytic out there that says, listen, there's this % chance that your guys can get hurt by playing this game. just use the numbers against him. Like, I would sit him down and say, Dan, stop being so stubborn and stop being a meathead. Like, this is about winning a Super Bowl, and this is about your best chances and your best odds and the best probability to win the Super Bowl, and that is to have everybody healthy for Sunday night to get a bye week.
By the time you're finished with that sentence, he's chewing on your knees.
Just the kneecapping him.
All right.
Ben, you've played, obviously. How big is a bye week? I mean, this would be an additional late season bye.
Especially for a hurt team like that.
Yeah, why wouldn't you want that?
Come on, this isn't Detroit, Dan. This is the Super Bowl.
I see what you did there.
Remember that?
Nice. I do remember that, yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's silly if his core starters. Now, the thing is, defensively, it's hard to sit players because they don't have any players. Like, they're in some spots, their threes are playing. Some guys got pulled off the street just a few weeks ago and are starting and getting significant playing time. So they might not do a lot on defense, and those guys probably need the reps.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. I mean, if they're going to rely on these guys, they need the reps in the system. But offensively,
what? And I mean, there's no guarantee that they even. So what if they play the starters and then lose? Now you've lost more. Like, I'd say if you rest the guys and you end up losing the game, the starters can kind of rest easy. Like, we didn't even play. I mean, there's a chance the Niners could win the game.
Sure.
Straight up. So now you play Goff, you play Gibbs, you play all these guys, and then you lose. Now the edge is completely.
Correct.
I think it's a built-in. Yeah, I think it's
lose-lose for them, for the starters.
Exactly.
Yeah, you could give your team essentially a bye this week. Then you have a battle next week against the Vikings. And then if you win that game against the Vikings at home, then you get another bye. You have one meaningful game in about 3 weeks. Yeah. That's a pretty good run-up to a Super Bowl run if you're Detroit.
And the other thing is, the way that this game, we think it's going to go down on Sunday night, I feel really bad. I mean, one of us is going to lose. And I would say the probability after a huge physical, emotional game on Sunday night, there's a possibility that you've got to go on the road on a Saturday to play a game on a Saturday 6 days later. I mean, the odds of you coming out of that game and being ready for this playoff game on the road and being in tip-top shape is not a high likelihood. I mean, I hate to put this out there in the ether, but the loser of this game, there's a good chance they lose the first round of the playoffs because they're so damn beat up. And it's such a hard thing to rebound from.
Where they will go yet, the loser?
I think NFC South.
Yeah, and it would
Tampa or Atlanta.
And Atlanta lost.
Yeah. So I think it's most likely Tampa.
Gotcha. Do they have a winner-take-all deal, too? Does Tampa play Atlanta this weekend?
Tampa is 9-7. No, they close with the Saints.
Saints, gotcha. Okay.
So you can't, because obviously in other sports, you can call up from, lower leagues. You can't, play more practice squad guys, right? You can't call those guys. Because you mentioned there's not many guys on the defensive side. You can't leave some guys back in Detroit and fly out some of your practice squad guys, or can you?
I mean, there'd have to be, guys that get downgraded. I mean, you can only have 48 guys on your active roster. So on your game day roster. So, I mean, guys would have to be deactivated and then brought up. So I don't know how to answer that question. I don't know how many they can actually bring up legally.
Interesting. Because, I mean, it's not going to be the case, but if I'm in that situation, I don't risk a damn thing.
Yeah.
You're playing a 2-loss team at your home barn next week to win the bye week.
Yeah.
Are I don't even know, are the Niners fully healthy, or they got a bunch of...
They've been injured all year.
They've been injured all year.
They're out.
So,
I know they're out, but...
So, anybody that's even remotely hurt probably doesn't matter.
Is Bosa playing, or is he...
I don't know.
I mean, do you want to drop Jared Goff back there if Bosa's playing in the game? No chance, right?
Back to the Vikings for a second there, Benjamin. How big of an impact was having Ivan Pace back specifically?
Huge. I mean,
what'd you see?
He saw it on the first play.
Yeah, right.
First play, they called a run blitz where he's running downhill and he's taking out a lineman. And he made the running backs, basically stop his feet and hesitate. I mean, we didn't have that from Grugier Hill. You didn't have that when Metellus is playing. Then Metellus still has to come in and play a little inside linebacker sometimes in nickel situations, but you don't have that downhill thumper. And that's what he is. And I think I myself, like a lot of people out there, didn't realize his impact until he was out of these last basically 5 games because he got injured in the first quarter of the Chicago game. So he was immensely missed. It was a huge difference in our run defense with him in the lineup versus him not in the lineup. And so, yeah, we saw it right from the get-go. And the way that he can manipulate offensive linemen, because that's the one thing that Green Bay does really good, is they're really strong on their double teams. I mean, you see them push the line of scrimmage in the run game, and then they have a big back behind them, is because they can mash on those defensive linemen with 2 of their offensive linemen as they work up to the linebackers. But if you've got a linebacker screaming downhill in the snap of the football, well, then you don't have a chance for those double teams. And now that defensive lineman now has just a half a guy to work off of, and he can penetrate and get through that line of scrimmage. So, it's amazing what one guy playing that physical can do. Now, he doesn't give you much in the pass game, but we all know that you have to stop the run first, and that's, for the most part, what they did yesterday. I mean, they still had some success, but his presence was definitely felt.
Any idea why LaFleur early on 4th and 3, I think it was 4th and 3, right? Maybe went for it, and then 4th and 2 later kicked the field goal? Or did I have that inverted? Was it the other way? Essentially, he had the same choice twice and chose to kick the field goal once and went for it on 4th the other time.
He went for it and it was incomplete on a pass to Reed on 4th and 3 in the second quarter.
Yeah, and it did hit him in the hands, by the way,
It
too.
did.
He probably should have caught that. That changes the whole game.
There's a couple balls that hit the guys right in the hands and they just dropped it.
Yep, and it looked like that was the Jordan Love's second or third read based on his eyes on the instant replay. Found him, though, and zinged it in there and hit him in the hands and dropped it. That changes the whole game. But I wonder why he went for it one time and didn't the other.
I don't know.
Almost identical situations. There's got to be a reason.
There's got to be a reason. I don't know.
I wonder why. Man, he seemed super pissed. I don't know if I've seen LaFleur. I don't watch a ton of Packers games, but he seemed frustrated almost the entire game.
Remember when he got almost thrown out at Green Bay this year?
That's
when
true.
We played them?
He was nuts.
Literally, they almost threw him out of the game.
Yeah.
He hates the Vikings.
He hates the officials. I mean, a lot of it was,
and they get all the calls.
They
What's
get all the
what's
calls.
his problem?
That's what Pete loves to see. I thought Pete was going to crawl out of the booth and kill somebody last night.
Yeah, he was.
He was a little salty.
Over which one specifically? Do you remember?
Everyone.
I think the Harrison Smith one really set him off.
The low.
They hit
block
to the
that wasn't a
midsection.
low block. Yeah, right.
What do they say on TV about that?
That's what they were debating as well, that it seemed like it was midsection, and they didn't seem like they were convinced that was a flag either. But that kept the drive alive. That was a huge penalty.
That was a huge penalty.
Enormous, yeah.
So enormous.
That's a lot of things changed that game. But
Pete talking about how his blood is starting to boil was so good. I love that guy.
I do too, man.
That whole crew.
How about the catch that JJ made? One-handed that didn't end up counting because of the hold or whatever.
Oh.
That was one of the best catches of the year, and it doesn't count.
How bad was the hold there?
Not bad.
I thought I couldn't.
I saw the replay and I couldn't see it either.
I only watched. They never really re-showed it, but the TV's delayed at the stadium.
Yeah.
So I would watch it, and I didn't know what to watch for, but I didn't see anything blatant. But I couldn't tell.
I did not either.
Yeah, that was a hell of a catch.
Hell of a catch.
Well, and a hell of a throw too.
Yeah,
I mean, he had a lot of great throws yesterday, but that throw that ended up not counting, and then he had another throw that I think Eric Wilson was diving and just missed.
That was the 40-yard.
Yeah, was it that one? Like
to Justin over the middle. That was incredible. What a dart!
Yeah, what a dart, man! And that was, I think, his second read. The fact that he just has no hesitation, he just doesn't play with any fear. I mean, he just throws the ball in there in such tight windows with such accuracy. I freaking love it.
That was right after the interception too, right? The drive after
that one was to Addison.
Yeah.
Yes, he had a strike on that.
Yes, because I'm like thinking to myself, to come off of a possession where you threw the interception, to have the balls to throw that ball and just have no fear about, if I throw another pick, I throw another pick, and then he just whistled it.
Yeah, that he just laced it right down the right hash to Addison.
He can wing it, there's no doubt.
All right, one more hour to go. Power Trip off the next couple of days for New Year's, but we still got your Vikings covered the next 60 minutes right here on the Power Trip Morning Show on the
KFAN. You wake up, put on your Ray-Ban Meta glasses. You're living all in. You realize you need coffee, so you say,
Hey, Meta, how do I make a latte?
Brew 2 shots of espresso.
After Meta AI gets you caffeinated, you're ready for some beats.
Hey, Meta, play hip-hop music.
You head to meet some friends, but can't remember the place.
Hey, Meta, call Eva.
Ray-Ban Meta Glasses, the next generation of AI glasses. Just say, hey, Meta, to harness the power of Meta AI. Shop now at meta.com/smartglasses.
Hey, it's Ryan Seacrest. Life comes at you fast, which is why it's important to find some time to relax. A little you time. Enter Chumba Casino. With no download required, you can jump on anytime, anywhere for the chance to redeem some serious prizes. So treat yourself with Chumba Casino and play over 100 online casino-style games, all for free. Go to ChumbaCasino.com to collect your free welcome bonus. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Deciding on what to listen to is hard. Using Zumo to stream music from iHeart 90s radio is easy. Or play iHeart Country or Hip Hop Beats. Your choice, all for free. Stream easy with Zumo Play. Get live and on-demand entertainment with no logins, no signups, no accounts, no hassle. This December, get cozy on the couch with Charlie's Angels starring Drew Barrymore, Lucy Liu, Cameron Diaz, and Looper starring Bruce Willis and Emily Blunt. All streaming free on Zumo Play. Go to play.zumo.com now. Life is hard. Zumo is easy.